muscle. I mean, you can just hear the back. It's like Mitch Mitchell meets Bonham meets Runaway Freight Train and a truckload of short skirts.
Hold on, Mitch. I'm gonna get my panties. I'll throw it at the screen for you. Hold on.
But isn't that a neat groove? And so even an old wounded man can still come up with really middle finger on fire fun licks.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's like I come from a native reservation just outside of Montreal. We're the Mohawk Nation over here. And
well, I'm the bow and arrow guy. I'm Cochise and Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse, all wound up.
So, whenever I DJ parties and stuff around town, we got all the res moms up there. They're grooving to Stranglehold, and they love boogie woogie kind of stuff. They
love it. They do. I've been to one of the what is it? The yacht club or whatever they call it, the marina.
Yeah,
and they play Ted Nugent all the time, and they love it.
Awesome! I'm honored because I've always celebrated the Aborigine Native American lifestyle, the oneness with the Great Spirit, the mystical flight of the arrow, understanding my relationship with the creatures and the wind and the ground and the habitat. So not only is what I just said a perfect conservation environmental lifestyle, but it's also the source of most of the hate against me.
Well, this is the thing, Ted. Listen,
how stupid can people be?
Well, coming from a native reservation and being a Mohawk, it's like I really think a lot of the stuff you say gets taken out of context and is completely.
You think?
Yeah.
Everything you say, I mean, it makes sense to me,
Because it's sensible, because it's truth, logic, and common sense, and it's pure nature. It's the Aboriginal lifestyle of being a responsible steward of God's renewable resources and monitoring it and actually being hands-on participant. And that's the story of the Mohawks. That's the story of the Assiniboine, the Gros Ventre, the Apache, the Sioux, the Lakota, the Blackfoot. I mean, come on, these are my blood brothers. Even when I use the term blood brothers, which is an Aboriginal term of being one with each other, being part of the community, the village, the tribe, people will attack me because I use the word blood brother. Blood brother is the most respectful, reverential term you can reference a human being with. As a blood brother, it means you share a great spirit and a lifestyle and a culture. And so, as I say this, you see this big shit-eating grin on my face because the people that level these nasty accusations and hate towards me, they got to be the dumbest creatures that have ever slithered on the earth, because I'm literally living a perfect environmentally positive lifestyle, and they don't get it.
And that's it. It's like as Mohawks, every morning we wake up and we do the Ohondo Gurdi Wadekwa, which is we give thanks to the Creator for everything.
Yes.
And everything you just said, it completely relates to that. So,
well, I have a song called Sitting Bull, Crazy Horse, Geronimo and Me. I have a song called The Great White Buffalo, which celebrates the Native American stewardship, their reverence for God's creation and the creatures that food, clothe, shelter, medicate us. And my show is called The Spirit of the Wild. That is the Aboriginal lifestyle of the Great Spirit, the great creator that gave us the food, clothing, and shelter from the bison and from the elk and the deer and the caribou. So Mitch and I've talked about this in the past. Yeah. It doesn't upset me on a personal level. Yeah. What it upsets me on is a human level, that people can be in such toxic denial that hunting, fishing, trapping, utility, wildlife is a valuable, renewable asset versus a caged creature, or using tax dollars to slaughter the bears because we weren't allowed to harvest them properly.
Right.
I mean, so many examples. So I know I've always been on the right track. And I find that my critics actually bring wind beneath my wings, because how much more confidence could you have than some dope-addicted, drooling, stumbling idiot attacking you because you had venison for lunch?
Well, that's it, and it's also, I don't understand as well, because it really is a part of our culture and heritage. As Native Americans, we live off the lands.
Sure. Yeah. So do I.
Yeah.
Yes. So I don't understand why, and even certain statements you've made. It's like, on the last interview you did with Mitch, you guys were talking about, the water crisis up here in Canada and how
Yes, we did.
the Canadian government, it just you've got native reservations in rural parts of the country, even just outside of Toronto, that have to live off well water, but they have all kinds of people every day coming into the country. Here, take this, take that, take whatever you want. Meanwhile, they can't help the original peoples of the land. It makes no sense. So when you come out in support of us and you get the hate for it, I don't understand, because you're just standing up for us.
Hello. Well, you're talking about a lot of anti-logic, a lot of celebrated ignorance. I mean, you really have to protect your lack of information to think the things that people think when they level hate and accusations towards me. Because I'm literally, I'm a Caucasian guy. You can't tell by my guitar playing, and you can't tell by my average meal. But I feel like the Native American on the hillside, watching a bunch of drunken white dirtbags, littering my sacred hillside, in a metaphorical expression of a cultural decay and a cultural abandonment. So luckily, Jeremy and Mitch, we know we're not alone. But when we witness the self-inflicted distancing and disrespect from governmental bureaucrats, that's really the crime. The people who are polluting, that's a bad enough crime. But the government that actually finances and looks the other way from the polluting, instead of being responsible and taking care of the citizens that they hired to be taken care of. So nothing much makes sense. And here I am in America with some freak in the White House who's scrambling to put a sentence together. So I think we're all shouldering a real ugly time in our lives.